I've been in BARDA for just under 15 years now. And what we do is we develop medical countermeasures, right? And how we do it is through flexible, nimble authorities, multi-year funding, cutting-edge expertise, facilitating partnerships, and promoting innovation. All things that are part of, the new BioMap venture or consortium. There we go. Okay. So what does the BioMap consortium do? I am going to read through this one almost entirely because these points are important. Facilitating USG industry partnership opportunities through an OT consortium model across the 3 key domains of interest, which we will touch on in a minute. Supporting ASPR and the USG project sponsor preparation and execution of funded requirements. And conducting industry engagement. This is a key one as well, and we're going to touch on that in a few more slides. Industry days, there's been so many just the past month, I think, to solicit consortium participation, increase awareness of USG biopharmaceutical manufacturing supply chain requirements. All right. So, as I stated, the 3 key areas or domains, overview of and focus areas. The first one on the left here, industrial base expansion of biomanufacturing supply chain. This one I'm very familiar with. In fact, I've already seen a handful at least here today of partners that we worked with at the beginning of COVID to build up capacity in the US of various things, raw materials, consumables, vials, syringes. So there's many of you here today, so welcome. The middle box here, biomanufacturing capacity expansion and reservation. I'm a bit involved with this one now as well, related to drug substance and particularly drug product. So we have, multiple, say, IBX projects that started early on in COVID for fill-finish capacity that we're working on, as well as other partnerships for bulk drug substance. And then on the box on the right, advanced biomanufacturing technologies. Here we're talking about new and emerging forms of, products, faster, better, more faster, right? That's where that box comes in. Okay, so the BioMap consortium model. In the top left, we have, that's the government, I guess the generic government symbol, would that be? Driving requirements and creating project documents, but also the key one, securing funding, as I think you heard Dawn mention earlier today. So everything starts with the funding, and then we're able to initiate the programs. We have a long list of programs that we'd like to get going, but it's all based on funding. Then bottom left, we have ATI, which is the consortium management firm, awarded, I guess it was last year, late last year, I forget when. So they're the organization that does all the administration of, soliciting the awards, things like that. So they act on the requirements once they're handed down and works on the proposals with the companies. Let's see. Top right, we have BARDA, where it's housing the BioMap Consortium Program Office. So Brooke, as well as Tim Belsky, who's also not here today, and 20 others that have been working on this for a couple years now to get the BioMap program off the ground. And then industry, our industry partners, many of you here today. So that's where the work actually gets done. Okay, so how does the model work? We have, starting at the blue box, the government puts forth the requirements, right? Then industry has the capabilities, right? We can't do anything in the government in this field without our, industry partners. They're the ones doing the work and making things happen. In the center, the consortium management firm does all the, solicitation, compliance, and things like that to make sure that the selections are made in the proper process, with the proper process. RFPs are announced. There's already been a few out on the street. RPPs, excuse me. We'll get to them in another slide. And then industry on the far right, responding to the proposals, and we can make the awards and start making things happen. Okay, so benefits of membership in the BioMap Consortium. Focusing on the one right in the middle there, no cost, it's free, right? It's very easy to sign up. But you get interaction, you get access to funding opportunities, right? So we've been urging folks for the past, I don't know how long now, at least until last year, to join the consortium. become a member, and that'll give you access to the future RPPs. Okay, so membership to date, 135 member organizations, at least when the time of this slide was made. Maybe there's more now. You can see on the left the category, a lot of small businesses there, making up 63%. Large companies and other institutions, education, nonprofits, et cetera. On the right side, industries currently represented. We touched on them. We got every category of the 3 domains covered, right? They're all in the consortium already, at least in some way. And then I was surprised to see this one as I was reviewing the slides an hour ago. A lot of small businesses represented already. It wasn't something I was aware of at first, so that's great. Okay. So the Biomap Consortium works to connect the dots, enabling frequent and fluid interactions between industry and industry partners. And just, you can see the industry engagements below. I think in the past, just 1 month alone, I've been either at or bumped into the team, mostly led by Brooke and Tim. They had a summit within the past month, and then they also had booths at the World Vaccine Congress here in DC and up at Interfex in New York City. So they're getting out there, pitching their products and, the consortium rather, and, things are really starting to grow there with membership and activities. And I think we'll see on this next slide, yes, here. Just some key metrics, $20 billion ceiling, that's a substantial amount of money. 10-year period of performance. We mentioned the 3 key domain areas already, but here on the right you can see some RPPs that have already been put out on the street. So there's 3 of them in 3 different categories. Important to note here that how we connect with IBMSC is that they can also use the Biomap program as a mechanism, right, to make awards. So there's definitely a consortium even within our internal groups. And then here, I think this is the last slide, social media. If you're on X or whatever, Instagram, ways to connect with the BARDA team, or with the Biomap team. I'm not personally on X. All right. That should be it. Yes. I will take some questions, which I can hopefully answer.
Dan Glucksman with ISEA. Not so much a question, but I guess a comment. A lot of times with the BARDA challenges, it seems that there's no, at least it seems to me from the PPE manufacturing side, there's no effort to try to partner, someone who wins a challenge with an operating company that could commercialize the product. A, am I missing something, or B, a suggestion that as you move forward with these challenges, to incorporate that into some of the planning? Because sometimes it does seem that these companies win a challenge and then they're somewhat stranded.
Excellent question that I'll try to answer. I think by challenges you're referring to like the DRIVE program? Yeah, okay. Which I'm not as familiar with as I am with the Biomap program even. But I believe that's a lot of smaller, like early startup type of projects, right? Seed money to get things started. To take that to the next level where you're, incorporating manufacturing or a facility, that's gonna be like the next level, which is gonna involve a lot more funding. So I know their projects are relatively small in dollar value, and when it gets to the next level, I think they're looking at a whole different scale or categories, right, that have to be met before we can, start to establish capacity for whatever the MCM might be. So I think that's probably the key difference there.